Hey pillars, and welcome back to another video. Now in this video I'll be showing you guys what it's like to ride on a highway. Yeah, you've heard me correctly. I'm riding and cycling on a highway. This is a dream of mine ever since I've started cycling, that one day I'd be able to ride on the highway, because I'd be like, why can't I just ride on the highway? It's really efficient. It's really good road in terms of the quality of the road. So I always wondered when I was in Canada why we can't ride on the highway, but obviously because of rules and regulations and laws, you cannot. So when I was in the country of Georgia, I had the opportunity of riding on the highway, and also in Turkey where I'm currently staying, you're able to ride on the highway as well. So eventually there will be clips of that, but right now I want to show you guys my training when I was in Georgia riding on the highway with Georgian Sagan. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So jumping into the video, I'll just be using audio so you guys aren't distracted, but basically this was leaving the main city in Georgia, which is Tbilisi, if you guys aren't familiar, and this is taking the most direct route to the south of Tbilisi, which is all done by highway. So this is called the Rustavi Highway, which is very enjoyable to ride on just because of how flat and how well maintained it is. If I have, time trial efforts or even just a solid effort block that you want to do, you can easily get 20-30 minutes of uninterrupted blocks, and then just when you get to the end you can just restart again. So in terms of training, the highway is very efficient. And then basically I went all around back to where he lived, which was my training partner. So we went back to his house, and then I went back home. So in terms of the ride, it was very good for training, very simple to get the training done. And for the total, it was 85 kilometers, 4 hours long, and only 400 meters of elevation. So a really good day on the bike in terms of training. So this is us at the end of Rustavi Highway, because after this the shoulder becomes pretty much non-existent. So in terms of safety, this is as far as you can go, and you can see the shoulder is pretty big. Now the one thing with Georgia, the country, the roads are pretty not that wide in terms of usage, just because it's not as big as North America. So you won't see 6-lane highways. You'll probably see the most is three lanes, which is what we see here. And you can see the shoulder is very big, and me and Georgian Sagan are just taking turns rotating through. You can see the watts, 200 watts, 250, going up to 300 once we start picking up speed. The other thing I like about Georgia and these countries is that they have bridges that you can actually walk across, so it's very functional in terms of pedestrians getting from one side to the other. And this is because they have really good bus systems, which where I'm from in Canada, we do not, unfortunately. So just rotating, taking strong pulls, and the shoulder that we have is very big, so it's basically kind of like a dedicated bike lane. So I understand because of laws and rules and regulations in Canada, specifically Toronto, you can't use the highway, and I'm pretty sure that's probably all of North America, just because of safety concerns. But here in Georgia, that is not a problem, which, like I said, I'm not going to complain as a cyclist. This is my dream ever since I started cycling at 16, that eventually I would be able to go on the highway. You can see how good the road quality is along with how flat it is. So in terms of efforts, like I said, if you were doing TT efforts or just really, over-unders or even threshold work, it's really efficient. So right now I'm just sitting behind him getting a nice draft. We're going 37 kilometers, 23 miles per hour, and I am just cruising, loving this, because Georgia definitely gave me a reality check with the mountains. So anytime I can get some flat terrain, it was always much appreciated. But this is us just cruising around 250 watts, really enjoying myself. So basically after this Rustavi Highway, we will get back into the city. But like I said, we're in the city right now, and he's just telling me go behind me, it's going to get pretty busy. And you can see that it's not that congested that you would expect for a major city. Obviously this is just the outskirts from us getting downtown, but you'll see there's dogs on the road, so you got to be very careful. I slow that down. There's a lot of road furniture that you got to be careful. Usually you won't see this in Toronto unless you go up north where people have their dogs on their property. So this section is really fun too. This is right before you get into the city. So there was like this village break, and then we get back to one of the major roads, and you can see that this is like a little kicker climb, 2% we're climbing, 300 watts, and then we're gonna have a nice descent down to the main city. So 300 watts, 4% average gradient. The cadence is going up 3%. And this climb, I told Georgian Sagan, just hit it. Let's make it hurt. 500 watts, and we're climbing. So it turns to the right, and this is one thing I've always loved doing, or I wish I could have done, is, you know, the banks in terms of the on and off ramps in Canada. You always wonder how much speed you could take. So I was like, you know what, we're gonna do this pretty properly, so let's just rev it up. And we ended up taking this KOM, so spoiler alert, we do have this KOM together, but you know, just a really good mini climb to get the legs really going, and then we're gonna full send it all the way back to the main city to get this KOM. So right now I'm sitting on, it's 1%, the climb's basically over, and this is where I'm going to tell him on the descent, George and Sagan, let your legs do the talking and let's go. So we just pretty much here are going to open it up, and there's a nice little descent. I think he's pulling off, he's saying, are you ready? And I'm like, okay, let's turn it on, because you're going a little too slow for my liking. So 300 watts, going to open it up there, and we're going to just start motor pacing. So you can see here I'm trying to keep it above 330 watts roughly. So I'm just taking it very nice and efficient, smooth. You see the cadence is 85, 86, so very smooth pedal stroke. We're rotating very effectively with one another, 90 cadence, and he's gonna put on the work. He said, like, you know, he doesn't speak English, so the broken English that we had, I said fast, and he understood the assignment. So you can see right now, this is basically before you get into the major part of the city, and even this section is not downtown. We're at least 20 minutes out, so you know, just you can still see from, you know, the flow of traffic. This is probably around, I'd say, like midday, and it's not super congested, super busy, because like I said, this is the outskirts. So downtown is going to be a lot busier, but from what I'm used to riding in major cities, even this section, even if you're 15 minutes out, it's going to be pretty congested, especially midday. But obviously it's all based on population, which you know, Tbilisi, the main city, Georgia, it doesn't have the same population as you would see in major cities. So right now, I don't even know if we have, I don't have live segment trackers, so I don't know if we're going to take the KOM, but we're going 51 kilometers. It's going as fast as I can at this point in terms of my fitness. So I was like, hopefully we can get this, but I'm letting him take a pretty gnarly turn. And once he starts slowing down, which I will see soon, I'll take over and be a good teammate and obviously share the workload. But he was drilling it on this section, and like I said, like with training, the one thing I love about just finding, you know, countries that not necessarily they don't care about safety or road safety. It's more so that, you know, for road cycling, I don't understand if the lane right now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 lanes. Obviously one's an off ramp, but 3 lanes. If you stay in the far right lane, I've ridden roads in Canada for one of the group rides that it's basically a highway, but it's not, it's a road, and you know, it's 3 lanes, max speed is 80 kilometers. So in this situation, I don't understand why that wouldn't be possible, because most cars here are still doing probably, you know, 95, 100 kilometers an hour. But if they're in the far left lane and you're in the right lane, it should be fine. So, you know, that's just my critique, where for training, you know, it's usually, I would say, is actually less safe in my opinion when you start going to farm roads or up north from the city, and you have 4 way stops in terms of intersections. I would say that's less safe than a highway, because, you know, up north, a lot of people roll stop signs, or they don't even stop in the first place because, you know, it's country roads and they don't expect a cyclist. So here, yes, the speed's faster, but at least we pretty much have a whole lane to ourselves, which I could understand if cars were gonna get upset, but Georgia, they're pretty relaxed. You saw the wattage right there spiked to almost 500 watts. So we're pretty much coming to the end of this segment, and I just want to try to give it my all until we give it up. So even 93 cadence, very effective in terms of just pedaling. Sagan's pedal stroke is really efficient as well. I would say he's very much like a puncher style rider, like a light puncher, just on how he rides the bike. So he's really effective on the bike, which having a teammate like that, you know, train with and ride with is really good, because I got to experience a bit of everything: climbing, descending, flats, motor pacing, all that good stuff. So we're basically coming to the end of this segment, and I don't know if we got it, but hopefully when I get home that day I would get it, and that ended up happening. So he was pretty excited. So now this section, I'm just going to talk now. It's like an extra added bonus clip. So this is one of the sections I used to live in one of the areas, and you see it in this section. Now we're officially in the city. Traffic is getting a lot busier, and just, you know, maneuvering. I would say one thing about Georgia, Tbilisi, the driving there is insane compared to anywhere I've been, which is not a lot of places, but compared to Toronto, it's just like next level in terms of just how they drive. They basically make up their own rules. We're going under a tunnel, and, you know, for safety, we should have had lights. I did not, so always have lights for safety, because that's pretty dark in my opinion. But, you you know, there's lighting, so this section looks really bad because we're not, like, you know, illuminated at all whatsoever, so that's pretty dangerous. But back to what I was saying about driving, it's that after I rode in Georgia, I could honestly ride probably anywhere in the world. Like, I'm probably sure that New York, even though it's more hectic and busier, at least I hope they follow the rules. I could be wrong, but Georgia, just in terms of driving, it really makes you a more like smart, more conscious rider, just because you always have to be on. So even though like he's pretty much used to it, and I think there is a baseline to what you could get used to, but this is going back to his neighborhood, which is in a village up north of the city. So, you know, he's used to this. Like, his baseline is totally different from mine. And eventually my baseline got pretty normal where, you know, if I didn't have a near-death experience, I was like, oh, it's a pretty good day. So we went to his village. He got his moped, and we said hi to his dog. And you can see that the village life compared to the city life is totally different. I'm pretty much used to this. It reminds me of where I'm from, which is a Greek island, the village. So, you know, seeing cows on the road is nothing new to me, but it was very interesting to see a village and like go into it and have some time there. So we're leaving his village, and I think he was just gonna drop me off to one of the sections where I could go home from. So going back onto the main road, because obviously the village is not, you know, right beside the main road. So I was spending some time with him over there. And the one thing I would love to do in the future is motor pacing. I've never done it until I went to Georgia, which they had the team cars for the national team along with the moped. And the one thing I love about motor pacing is just the quality of workout. It's basically like simulating a fast group ride. So if you don't have a group ride, but you do have a teammate that can motor pace you, even if it's like once a week, I think the quality of training would be very, very high. Now this part, I by accidentally put a time lapse, which I'm not complaining. It looks pretty cool in terms of the video effect, but you know, we're just talking. And like I said, the riding here, you have to get outside the city, especially when it comes to midday. Unless you go in the morning, this gets very hectic, very busy. And you know, for training, you don't want to be on 24/7. Like, you want to be able to just like spin the legs and not really worry about getting into a crash, which, like I said, Georgia's really, really hectic for driving. So he dropped me off here, and then I'm just going to take it home all by myself. So, you know, I got used to the roads. The training, out of a 10 for the city type, if you stay near the south section, which is at the start of the video, like this is downtown where I live, or where I did live, then the training, you know, if you can go on the highway and you can go up north, then the training's pretty good. But I think this is pretty like a standard. Like, every city is going to have, you know, it's certain loops that you can do, but obviously the best quality of training is going to be the ones that are hidden, like hidden gems outside the city. So this is me just taking the main road back. And one thing about this road that was nice is that on the other section there is a dedicated bike lane, so you can pretty much get outside the whole city just through a dedicated bike lane. So I have really no complaints. And even this section, like, it's pretty busy, but I had no problem. So that basically wraps it up for my training day with Sagan on the highway. Now, if you guys did enjoy the video and want to see more training, I'm currently living in the country of Turkey, specifically Antalya. So I will be riding pretty soon outside. Just been really busy with other stuff and other projects, so bear with me on that. But if you guys did enjoy the video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, comment what you guys want to see next. I have some reviews in the works that's gonna be great to post on my channel, and then some other stuff. So stay tuned for a full update. More videos coming. I know I keep saying that, and you can totally roast me in the comment section down below, but it's just been a busy last, 6 months to 10 months. So I'm trying to get back into the full swing of things, and hopefully just having consistent content on the channel. So bear with me. I do apologize, and until the next one, keep on pedaling.